Good morning. Michelle House here from Rich Living for High Vibes at 5:55. A bit of soul-rich stuff going on, soul-filled stuff so that we can keep living these beautiful, rich lives that we have. Good morning. How are you going? Nice to see you. So we, as you know, everybody knows who's been watching the last week, yesterday and today. Today's wrapping it up. We're kind of wrapping it up as we go into masterclass tonight, right? Wrapping up the conversation around money shame. And one of the things that's just come up for us inside the Rich Living Academy is about forgiveness. And as interesting, worrying, anxious, all those thoughts when you start to unravel your stories around money and your shame around money, and the frustration. Sometimes there's anger from people in your past that have led you to feel shame and embarrassment about your money situation. All of those emotions going on, right? And you're writing out your angry letters to people and clearing it that way, or perhaps even you're having conversations with people around stories from the past and going, I remember that time once when we were grocery shopping, or I remember, somebody posted they remember being a child and their mother would buy things and hide them from the father. So that's not the child's shame, but the child is still watching what's unfolding and feeling that energy and feeling that emotion of the shame in that situation. So, it might be stories like that you're going back and having conversations with people about, remember that time and learning a bit more. All of this stuff is about learning more about how we operate, learning more about why we do, why we're doing it that way. Why isn't there another way that we could be doing this? I know for me, when I was in all the financial troubles that I was in, it was, surely there's got to be another way. Surely that whoever, I don't know if there's a God, I don't know if there's a universe, I don't know if there's divine intelligence, but surely I wasn't put here on the planet to be going through what I'm going right now. Please show me another way. And then, then it was paying attention to conversations with people who would say, have you read this book? And then I'd go and read this book, or have a conversation with a mentor or a coach or somebody in your life that inspires you who would point you in another direction, taking the signs and taking the signs on, right? So as we micromanage going through this shame process, there's a really vital part that we have to go through in order for us to move on. Now, if you've been doing these exercises over the last few days in relation to money shame, awesome. But your shame could also be around a relationship. Your shame could also be around something to do with body image. Doesn't matter. Shame is shame, right? But what you need to do with shame is you need to forgive it. You need to forgive the situation. You need to forgive what happened, and you need to let it go. And that's when you're at that crossroad where you go, you know what? This story has been running my life. Take, I don't want to take money. I want to take something else. Let's take having an affair. Somebody's in a relationship and had an affair. You have to choose to let that go and find a different way to do your marriage, or leave your marriage, right? That's one that most people can relate to, is you get to that situation. Well, not relate to because they've been through that experience, but, we've watched the movies and seen the TVs and all that stuff. So you kind of get yourself to this situation where you go, okay, I can see here now, or even people in your life, where you're watching people who this may have happened to, and you go, one of them's going to have to make a choice now about staying with it or not staying with it. But it's in it's in that choice where you have to do the forgiveness. So if you're choosing to stay the path and stay married and stay whatever, then you actually have to let it go. You can't keep taking that story with you. You have to let it go. And, that's a really complex situation. But when you come to talk about money, it's the same thing, because it's an energy, right? So if your energy around the shame of your financial situation is, I'm so embarrassed that I got myself into so much credit card debt on crap that I didn't even need. And I'm really embarrassed about that. And I'm embarrassed that I wasn't able to make the payments. And it's humiliating that, you know I owe all this money. You're right. Okay. All those heavy, heavy feelings around that. The only way you're going to get out of that credit card debt and not have that hold you down anymore is if you forgive yourself for making those mistakes and letting it go. And you forgive yourself and you go, you know what? I stuffed up. I got a little bit out of control. I bought things that I didn't really need. I realized that I was buying things to keep my children happy, and I've worked out another way to do that. You know, I really need to package that up and just put that to the side and let it go and move forward with my action. Because if you then go into the following week, go to pay the credit card, and you still have the shameful, embarrassing, humiliating feeling, the frustration, the anger, that, oh my God, I'm still paying this off, all that stuff, all that heavy energy on that transaction, it's going to be harder. And what I'm trying to show you is how not to do it harder. You're still got to do it. Still got to pay it off. You still got, if it's a marriage situation, you still got to go through whatever, have the conversation or do whatever you got to do, right? You still got to do that. But I'm trying to show you a way to do it with a little bit more ease and more grace and more flow. And when you can let that go and not be attached to the constant beating up of yourself or your partner. So if it's your partner that's racked up the credit card debt or lost control of the money situation, you have to decide to forgive and let it go. You can't keep taking it with you, or you're never going to pay it off. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many automated payments you have set up, what the plan is. If you constantly are thinking every time you see that leave your account, oh, that bloody bastard, he spent all my money, or I'm a useless person when it comes to money, I know nothing, you will fall back into your cycle and you will fall back into your trap. It is such an emotional connection between us and money. So with your money shame stories, we're going to, if you can join me tonight in the Rich Living Room group, Robin, if you wouldn't mind just popping the link up for me. Oh, Bella, hello. Hey. Oh, hey, Brent. Hey. So tonight I'm going to do a group session. It's free. It's a group session. We're going to go over into the Rich Living Room and actually go through this whole process all together so you can ask me questions and that I can help you where we can see the blocks and what needs to be moved. Yes, you have to put practical things in place to pay off credit cards or save for a holiday. You have to do that. But you also have to work out and be in tune with your emotional response to why you're doing what you're doing. And then, of course, you have to have great intentions and vision about where you want to be going. So we're going to talk briefly about those other two, but we're going to talk a lot tonight about the money shame and the money shame story. So I'm hosting that inside the Rich Living Room group. If you're not a member of that group, just jump in and join today. You don't have to do anything. You just click, can I join the group, which Robin has posted here. And we'll go through that and help you really start to get stuff happening in your life, not just showing up to these webinars and, answering that email and opting into that Facebook ad about how to clear my money blocks. Let's just jump in and clear it and get it done. So we're doing that tonight, 7 o'clock Brisbane time. Jump onto timeconverter.com if you're in another location, and I will see you there. Awesome. Have a beautiful day. See you guys.